Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and we are finally back with a death metal update. Got 8 records to take a look at, so let's get into it. In the background, we are listening to a slab of black metal. This is a band called Pestilentia. The album is called Where the Light Dies. I should have memorized that. The band is from Belarus, and this album came out in 2016. Last thing that this band's done, really good quality, straight ahead ripping black metal as you'd like it, as I like it. Lyrics upside down, and yeah, just some cool iconography and things. Really good band. Not too sure if they're still around, just felt like putting it on. We start with 4 MSUO releases in a row, brand new titles, and they're all debut albums from the bands in question. The first one we take a look at, this has been on everyone's list waiting for it to finally come out. I know everybody was impressed with the band's demos before, waiting for a full length. Talking about Chaotian with Effigies of Obsolescence. Look at that glorious artwork, we'll talk about that in a minute. These guys are from Denmark. And as I said, following up from their 2 demos from a few years ago, heavily incantation-based, dark, murky death metal, but in that more modern style. Think more Father Befouled, but there's also a lot more sort of foot-stomping groove to it, I suppose. You know, it's like often pulling from more brutal death metal at times. Sometimes I hear sections that pull from band like Demolic, even, you know, a bit of Finnish in there. Even, you know, vocally, kind of similar. It is booming, guttural, reverb vocals, like they're down there in the pits, just like Demolic. Dissonant, mostly trem guitars, like really fast picking, good stuff. A bass that you can hear as well as feel. I'm not a big bass guy. You know, when bands go and do the whole Seinfeld bass, I get annoyed, which is why, you know, later era death has never done too much for me. But this is good here, right? This is when the bass is good, but it's not like ridiculously, you know, Primus or anything like that. This is what I like in bass. It's there, you can feel it, you can hear it, it has impact, but it's not sounding all Seinfeld. Anyway, Seinfeld. Yeah. It's good. It does like little bridges and things. And the last song on here. Take a look at the back. There's the guys locked up in jail. And the last song here, Festering Carcinolith? Festering Carcinolith, I think is what that says in that weird Germanic font. It has a bit of a journey to itself there. Like it goes on this nice exit journey on that song with a lot of little bass tootling kicking into this. This whole album is a really big jump musically from the demos. That demo comp came out 2020, I think it was. Green cover, fantastic cover. Same artist did this cover. And as far as I could tell from the archives, that's all this artist has done. So unless there's something incorrect about the archives, he has only done 2 Chaotian covers. But he does fantastic work. I really love the artwork on this one too. So yeah, and Chaotian themselves share a member. I don't know which one of these here. The drummer is the same drummer from Frenolith, another fantastic Danish band. So yeah, all the Danish bands, the whole Denmark scene, it's just blowing up. Awesome stuff. Chaotian. Take a look inside. And I have a complaint. This applies to the 4 MSUO titles. The records, they all came in just paper sleeve. No poly liners. I had to do my own. Hate it. I really hate it. If you're going to go make these nice glossy jackets and you're going to put in nice cards like that, I wish the labels would spend the extra 10 cents and have poly-lined inners. You just hate pulling those records out the first time and just all those brand new scratches on your nice, tasty, fresh LP. Very annoying, but anyway, I got off lightly with these ones. It's just black. There's nothing really to show you in there. So there you go. And yeah, here we go. There's the guys with an extremely rotten production shirt there. Very much Denmark. And yeah, some lyrics. Great album. Very much enjoying this one. Chaotian, Effigies of Obsolescence. Check it out. Another gnarly blast of death metal here. Did I just say gnarly? I think I did. This is Sedimentum with Suppuration Morphogenesequa. What a fantastic title that is. Morphogenesequa. Makes it sound French. But it is not. It is not at all. This is Sedimentum. This is some nasty stuff. From the offset, it starts with just furious, gurgly, blasting death metal. It hits you in the face the second this thing turns on there. I mean, you've already worked it out from this gloriously green cover art. It's not going to be pretty. It's not a pretty album at all. It leads into this pummeling double kicks, chuggy, slime-ridden riffs, just oozing stuff. Has some really good groovy breaks for, like that headbanging at the front of the stage stuff, like you grab onto the front, you know what I'm talking about. So much of that in this thing. It's a great album for just letting loose too. Dive bombs are plenty. I love a good dive bomb. Down-tuned, brain-smashing goodness from this Sedimentum album. Pinch harmonics, all the good stuff. A bass guitar that could cause browning of underpants. I shit you not, you'll shit your pants. Sedimentum. Disgusting, puked up vocals as well. Continue this glorious artwork on the back. Think of like early Tomb Mold, Undergang, that kind of stuff. It's just filthy and ugly, and it's a gatefold. Look at that loveliness in there. Not too sure what makes MSUO go gatefold versus normal. Maybe it comes down to the band. But yeah, good stuff. Looks really nice. But yeah, so the band, they did a demo in 2019. A couple of splits, I think. I haven't heard the splits, but the demo was really, really good. I have the demo on LP. I think it was FKR put that demo out after doing the tape run. And it was just a good sign of the filth that was going to come with this debut album. Again, like K-Ocean, demos laid the groundwork, but this thing is 10 times better than what the demos gave us. So good. The full length just gives us a lot more of it. It's just better. It's well honed. Yeah, it's just so good. More nasty death metal. Glorious, as I've been talking about. Brad Moore artwork. It's the guy that did Tomb Molds, Manner of Infinite Forms, and Worms Forever Glades. So that's where all the green is, you can see. Beautiful, beautiful thing for such a disgusting sounding album. There's the inside again. Take a quick look in here. Just another black LP. Was there an inner? No, they took care of it all with the gatefold. So we'll take a look again. There's the sort of alternate logo thing up there. And yeah, there's the band members. Drummer looks like he's having a bit of a nap. Actually, they've all got their eyes shut. They're all having a bit of a nap. It's tiring time making death metal. Lyrics, very good. So yeah, there you go. Sedimentum, Suppuration Morphogenesequa. Great title, great album. The next band did a very short but very sweet demo tape in 2020. I'm talking about Flesh Rot. This is Unburied Corpse. Look at that cover. It's all just, oh, woof. Unburied Corpse. Stench, a bit of a stench to it. These guys are from Texas. This is, of course, again, their debut. Yeah, it is a rotting and decayed corpse for absolutely sure. Slower, bit slower death metal in the real... It's not Death Doom. This is just chunky, thuddy, gory, groovy death metal. It just doesn't ever get ridiculously fast. The kind of death metal that appears in Noxious Ruin magazine compilation tapes, Flesh Rot, and I'm sure they have as well. Awesome, awesome stuff. You just can't help again but headbang to this thing. It gets you right at the speed that you are involuntarily just going along with it. This is just killing me. It is so good. Flesh Rot. It's all in the groove here. It is all in the groove. Thundering double kicks, crashing cymbals, chuggy, chunky bottom end riffs, just go, 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 go. Really good chugga chugga. It's got a jangly bass on this one. I know I just talked about the bass being on other things, but anyway, it's good here again. Jangly. It sounds like a loose cable being hit with a fist, just like bang, bang, whole thing shakes. Tearing the meat off the bone with your teeth death metal. that's what this is. It is like, yeah, it is meaty stuff, but this is good, well-crafted songs. Yeah, the whole thing, I was thinking about it. It's kind of like Sanguisugabog's like slightly smarter cousin. So, you know, like he's not going to go and cure cancer anytime soon, but he knows how to hold chopsticks most of the time. That's what you get with Fleshrot, just a little bit smarter. Just, you know, he can wear a collared shirt when he goes out, but, you know, he still doesn't know how to make a speech at a wedding. Like, that's Fleshrot. Good stuff. I don't know where I'm going with this. But, you know, there are worth noting, there's 2 releases of this album. This version here on MSUO, and there is another one with a completely different cover, which is a blue kind of thing, and the CD and the tape from Desert Wasteland Productions. So, yeah, it's interesting that you can get 2 entirely different covers with this album. On however you get your Unburied Corpse, you can get it in different colors, different cover artwork. I like the green one from MSUO, so that, you know, that helped me out when I was placing the order with my local distros anyway. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, artwork on this is just... Take a look inside. Again, just a black LP. There you go. And was there a lyric thing? Yes, there is. You get the guys all looking over the unburied corpse, most likely, giving it a kick. Old mate there looks like he's wearing a Convulse shirt. That's always a good sign. And yep, some lyrics. Very nice, very filthy. And the back there again, there's the unburied corpses. So, yeah, look, it's stuff that's not reinventing any wheels whatsoever. But I think it's very well done. Just brutal, in your face. I'm not going to say slamming, because it's not that. It's just chuggy. Chuggy is the description. Chuggy and chunky death metal. Fleshrot, Unburied Corpse. Definitely check it out. Did I say that everything from MSUO I was going to show was a debut album? Because I lied. This is in fact the 3rd album from this band, but it's an absolute cracker. This is Ataraxy, The Last Mirror. Bit of a sheen on that, so I don't know how well it's coming up on the camera. It's quite a diluted cover, and it's a bit shiny, so I'll try and hold it like that and hope for the best. This is punishingly heavy stuff, like old Asphyx sound mixed with modern Finnish death like Crypts or Gorphilia. That's what you get with Ataraxy, particularly on this new album. But the band is out of Spain, so Spanish death metal that sounds very European. It's really, really good. This album opens with a sort of a very dark instrumental track. It's called Presages. Sets the tone here. Then it goes to the first proper track called The Bell That Constantly Sounds. Man, that's 8.5 minutes long, that track. It goes with like a slow pitter-patter double kick. Then goes into the fast trem, just savagery, like you're hearing in the background with this black metal. Lead guitar doing really nice like lick over the top. Really strained Van Drunen type vocals. I love a bit of Van Drunen type vocals. Mulder do it well as well. But on here, it's got a real pain sound to it. There's a dabbling of keys here as well, bit of atmosphere. It is sort of deathy, doomy, and it has those keys to give it just a bit more of a well-rounded sound. Really makes it quite spooky. And then it like goes into this quadruple, just it goes from mid-pace to slow, dirgy doom, and then we're going to hit the blasts, and then we go back to the slow, dirgy doom, and then the bells of the title are going dong, dong, dong. 8.5 minutes. It is a great, great opening track. But the whole album, the rest of the songs are not as long, but they do follow similar patterns. It's an excellent album all around. It's 42 minutes long, which is a quality length for a death metal album, I think. Listening to this thing, it's the way it's put together, the flow, the overall sound, and helping by those vocals as well, does remind me of a band like Horrendous. I hear a lot of that in this album. So yeah, if you like Horrendous, I think The Last Mirror, Ataraxy is a safe bet for you. Really, really good stuff. We'll take a look inside. Get another black LP, nothing exciting, and lyric card. There's the band. Look like they're in the back of some 1700s abandoned building or something. And some lyrics, very nice. So yes, The Last Mirror, which, I mean, this is almost a mirror itself, I think, such a reflective cover. Awesome album from Ataraxy. Third album, their best one so far. Previous two albums have all been excellent. First EP was also very good. Quality band. Very, very happy with this one. Can't wait to see what they do for the fourth. The next one was a completely new act for me. Never heard of them. Got a $20 spin newsletter. The cover was there. I was very intrigued because it did not look $20 spin. It looked like Iron Bonehead. Red, black, white. Am I getting some kind of black witchery here? It didn't really know what I was getting. This is what I was getting. I'm going to try my absolute best to say this. The band's name is Zompantly. The album's name is Slabs Tlazcaltilizitli. Very, very hard. But anyway, Zompantly is the name of the band. At least I can try and get that one right. People were blowing up all over this thing, so that's what made me jump on it eventually. Man, so thankful that I did. Slow, sluggish death metal album. Frequently gets down to the death doom speeds, and it's always in the pocket of that sound. But I still, I find it a little bit difficult to call it a death doom album. I think it's across a few different types of death metal here. It is something closer to things like Spectral Voice, Mortiferum, but I just don't think it's quite doom enough. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I do think it's more death metal album that just is quite dark and slow. But anyway, the second track, I mean, this is also a reason why I think it's not so much doomy. The second track on this one, which is the title track, it sounds so much like Morbid Angel's Where the Slime Live. The riff, the speed of the double kicks that don't stop the whole time, it's very similar. And that made me just go, that's not doom, that's death metal. But I'm splitting hairs. The band's name, obviously, it's not Germanic, is it? It's certainly not Black Witchery-esque. It's, we're talking Mexican themes here, pre-Mexico, Mayan times, I suppose. That's what all this iconography is here. You've got, the building, you've got all the Aztec, I apologize if I get it wrong, Aztec, Mayan. I am not of this kind of history. But what it is very, very good. It's got, the folk instruments that usually come with that style of music. Metal Archives credits quite a number of interesting instruments. We get the Huitul drum circle, the Teponzatli drum, death whistles, that's so cool, and shells and shakers. You definitely hear things like the shells and shakers all through the album, and the whistle. As soon as you start hearing the whistle, it's one of those things that stands out in a lot of these kind of pre-Mexican bands. You hear the whistle and you know where that's going to go with the music. Few of those bands do it. Mainly black metal bands that pull it out, but these guys very much death metal. Chanting vocals and acoustic guitar, they pop up quite a lot. There's sections, I think it might have been in the title track, that was just very Dead Can Dance, right? It's going down that path, but with the heavy death metal in there as well. The instruments are usually blended with traditional death metal instruments, the regular drums, guitars, and the vocals, of course, and not just interludes on their own. So, yeah, it's really well composited. Everything's put together very well. Two-piece band. We'll take a look inside. There's I believe, a photo. There we go. Two-piece band. Ta-da. And the brainchild of Zompantly is a guy called Brian Ortiz, who is better known for his main band, who actually just toured here last month, Zabalba. Now, not the black metal Zabalba, but there's a death metal / hardcore, not deathcore, death metal and hardcore band called Zabalba, and I believe that's his main band. I'm not too familiar with them, but if they're anything like this, god damn, I should check it out. This Zompantly is outstanding, dark, doomy death metal. More emphasis on death metal and less on the doom. There's some more of the cool drawings and the lyrics there. Lyrics are at least in English, so I can work out what's going on. But the final track on this one, the final track on side A, which is El Tequi, That's a real highlight, using all those traditional instruments to then end out the side. But side B opener, which I have absolutely, you can see it there, right? I have absolutely no chance in even attempting that. But that song is so heavy it could demolish buildings. Absolute brutality of this thing. The production is crisp and just perfect. $20 spin, right? So it's an extra level above some of the other labels. There's some production here, really good. And I also like, and this is just me noticing things like this because I'm a bit of a geek, how pixely the border art here is, very 8-bit. Don't know why, but it's nice. It looks cool. And yeah, the skull's obviously there in the center. So yeah, this is Zompantli with, I'll try it again, Tlaxcaltilitzli. I actually think I did it not too bad that time. And there you go. Awesome stuff, awesome band. Definitely keen to check out more from them. The next one I'm not going to talk too much about because I've talked about it before. I've shown the CD in my top 10 albums of 2021. I just finally now have the LP, which it came out, it sold out instantly. I had no hope, waited a few months, local distros got the reissue. I am talking about the absolutely fantastic Malignant Altar, Realms of Exquisite Morbidity. As I said, this was in my top 20 of 2021, so go check that video out to learn a bit more about this album. But in brief, this beast is like Suffocation's Pierced from Within, but played by Morbid Angel during the Domination album recordings. And you've got Lucifer in the background yelling out, "Can you make it a bit more evil?" And you've got Mortiferum on the other side saying, and make it filthier at the same time, will you? All that together, Malignant Altar. So good. It was completely worthy of being in my top 20 of last year. So good. Dark, nasty, Cthulhu worshipping death metal, and look at that fantastic artwork. I had to have that embiggened. CD wasn't going to do it. I needed 12 inches of that glorious artwork. I love their logo. I love the color scheme. Everything about this. It's like a palm-muted Cthulhist. That's what you get with these guys. Top quality stuff. But do go check out my other video. So I won't reiterate too many things here again. Out on Dark Descent. Fantastic layout on this one. Really, really nice. And inside, the good thing about Dark Descent is they use proper poly inners. Certain labels could learn from this. Anyway, it's just black. And we get very shadowy photos there, the band, and the lyrics there on the back. Such a good album, and it sounds fantastic on LP. Of course, Malignant Altar, Realms of Exquisite Morbidity. Just go get it. The next one is another debut album. This is the first one from this Canadian band after two really, really good demos. I'm talking about Grave Infestation with Persecution of the Living. Glorious artwork yet again. Look at that. So good. Just, they've decayed so much they got friggin' cobwebs. Anyway, this is fantastic. I mean, it's grave, right? You got the word grave in your title. A few bands you could draw from, and it actually is somewhat adjacent to Grave Miasma in that sort of dark, deathy, blacky sound. But this is a bit more in that the riffs are fully anchored in traditional death metal, played in a ugly autopsy style, a bit of old Necrophagia, very old, like first album Necrophagia, but it's a wash with a more darker, dissonant, this fast trem in the guitar. Like it's a mix of stuff there, but it does always sound quite old. And that's what I really do like about it. It sounds quite old. But then there's passages that sound sort of more black metal, like Necrophobic. Then there's the thrashy stuff like Destroy 666. There's chunky stuff like Morbid Angel. A lot of guitar, Triazoth kind of stuff going on. One thing I do like, and it happens multiple times in most tracks, they do that 16-beat build-up like you get from a grindcore band. Dun 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 dun, and then you'd expect the blast, but they don't go into the blast because not grind. They'll go into some rolling kicks, or they'll go half pace or something. But I've always loved that kind of build-up. They do it multiple times throughout the album. it works. It's really good. It's lots of fun. And you know, it goes into dive bombs. I love my dive bombs. I've said that already. Thrashy death metal stuff, bolt throwery type groove, but you know, dive bombs. What can you say? Love my dive bombs. These Canucks love to bomb their dives. So good. Vocals. Vocals are sort of like the John Tardy territory. Like it's snarled, but it's a bit more blackened. It's got reverb in it. He's probably one of these guys here, like trying to escape the cobwebs. I have no idea, but yeah, it's such a good album. I'm really thrilled to finally get a full length. Wasn't sure actually what was happening with these guys. They did a demo a few years ago. Then a second, the first demo was called Infesticide. Did a second demo. I never managed to get a copy of that demo. Then I kind of forgot what was happening with the band, and then lo and behold, damn album gets released. Always good, always good. Come out on Invictus. Invictus do good stuff. I don't think Invictus get the praise as much as some other labels. They do quality releases like this one. And yeah, so it's just another black LP, but you get a nice cool picture there on the side, in a label, I should say. And we get very sketchy drawn kind of lyrics there, white on black. And there's a very, very drunk-looking band against the collapsing grave that is somewhat infested. Grave infested. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Leather jackets. It's just, grave infestation. It's so good. So good. Check out the demo in Infesticide. Absolutely. I didn't put it on here to show, but at the same time I got this. They did do a demo reissue of Infesticide that has demo 1, side A, demo 2, side B. Yes. So now I've got the second demo, which I didn't get to hear the first time around. Awesome. But this album, Persecution of the Living, it's fantastic. If you like all the elements I just mentioned, go check it out. The last one I'm going to show comes from my absolute favourite current Sydney death metal band. I've been screaming their name from the rafters for a few years now. Absolutely fantastic. I've seen them 7 times live. I am wearing the friggin' tour shirt. Talking about Golgotha Remains. Oh, Golgotha Remains, so good. This is their 2022 follow-up to 2018's Perverse Offerings to the Void. This is Adorned in Ruin. Look at that. Awesome, awesome artwork. It looks so big. If you've never heard them, which I would think would be a bit of a surprise at this point, I would hope, because they've been getting a bit of love out there. Golgotha play a furious, immolation-y style dark death metal, but a bit more blackened. Think Suffering Hour. Suffering Hour is a good modern example, but it's definitely rooted in immolation. When you see them live, you see the guitarist play. He attacks his guitar in the exact same way that immolation do. It is a joy to watch playing live. CD dropped in April. I picked it up at the launch show in Sydney, which was a great show. But the LP, of course, 2022. Delay. Finally dropped, came out in August. And here it is now, finally in my hands. So this is, it's a stellar album, of course. It's Golgotha Remains. It is thicker. It is muddier, I'm assuming intentionally. And it's overall nastier in the production stakes, I think, than the debut. It reminds me of, like, Adversarial. It gets so furious and just swampy in the production. I do think of bands like Adversarial, and that's not a bad thing, because that band rules. The guitars are a little buried in the mix, again, like Adversarial were, and it's not a distraction or a detraction, it just is. It's just different to the debut. The vocals have always been like really dark and guttural, but added some this time, some sort of banshee howls. Think of like Bolzer from the Hero album. They hit some of those just out of nowhere, just oh, that kind of howl thing. I didn't know it was coming, right? And when I saw them, I think the last 2 times, and they started playing tracks from this album, he just pulls that on stage. I had no idea it was coming. One thing I will say I've noticed is that the songs on this album don't particularly stand out in the same way that they did on Perverse Offerings to the Void. On that album, you could find, particular songs and go, track 3, I'm going to listen to that one right now. On this one, it's more of the whole album is the song. Like, it's something you listen to in its entirety. You can't song pick. Maybe that's the case, or maybe I'm just not as familiar with it because I know Perverse Offerings like backwards at this point. I've listened to it so many times. So that's a possibility, but from where I'm standing right now, it's an excellent album, but the songs themselves don't generally have a standout from each other, except for the ones that have the Banshee vocals, and you go, oh, that's one of the Banshee ones, because they don't all do it. But still, it's a great album. I'm not going to take anything away from it. It just is a different type of album for them so far. But with the exception, though, the final track of Lifeless Wings of Malice, that one is a real dirge number and has these like spooky chant, talky vocals in it. It does sound a bit more unique, I think. That one stands out. Nice gatefold here. You get some really nice look there at the artwork. Looks kind of like the upside down a little bit there, but wow. Really cool. I love how it's sort of smoky all the way through. Awesome artwork. We'll take a look inside. This one is coloured, so I will actually show it to you. This edition was limited to 100. Really nice sort of blue smoke. Very, very cool. And there is a black version that is more numbers, but I don't know what. I just got the blue one because it was on pre-order. And there's the lyrics. And there's the band. Very, very cool. So, yeah. As I said, I'll try and re-sleeve that now, because I will fail miserably. It's a great album. It's out on Sentient Ruin. I probably just need a little bit more time with it, as I said, to try and really absorb each song as its own entity rather than the album as a whole. And we'll see how it does in the long run compare with Perverse Offerings to the Void, which was just, it's like one of my favourite albums of the last 10 years. So we'll see how we go on that one. But anyway, Golgothan Remains, Adorned in Ruin. There we go. That is the last album I'm going to show today for this quite delayed death metal update, and I do apologise for that. The next update coming will be more of a traditional metal, heavy metal, thrash metal, OG presses. I've got quite a few of them to show. If you like this one though, please like, subscribe, check out this guy, check out that guy, these two guys. See you next time.